This is the Drive Formula podcast, where we take trust, communication, and action to accelerate your team from 0 to 60. My name is Marcus Williams, and I will have the pleasure today of reading Chapter 2 of Driving Engagement by Eric Lichty and Marcus Williams. This is part of our series of our enhanced deep dive audiobook. If you missed Chapter 1, you can go back and listen to that, and also Episode 2, where we took a deep dive into Chapter 1. The way this works is we read a chapter, and then the next episode, we discuss the stories, the principles, our thoughts, everything about that chapter so that you get a deep dive, enhanced look and understanding of those principles that we talk about in the book. So if you have questions or comments, you can leave them here, and we will discuss those during our deep dive episode. You can also email us at support@thedriveformula.com. We recommend that you also purchase the book so that you can follow along, even if you are at work or driving and you can't follow along right now. That will allow you to go back, review what you heard today, highlight, mark, make comments, notate questions, and it will really enhance your ability to integrate these principles into your work life. The book is available on Amazon or other online retailers. All right, let's jump right in and read Chapter 2. Shifting Gears. Wait a minute, you say. This isn't some sort of workers' collective ownership type of book, is it? Absolutely not. This is a new way of thinking, a complete paradigm shift on the role of leadership, framed in a way to which we can all relate. We are all familiar with cars. We may not understand exactly how they work or what every part, sensor, or wire does, but we know that when we turn the key, the car starts. And when we put it in drive and push on the gas, it goes. When you finish this book, every time you get in your car to go to work, go shopping, go to a game, or go on vacation, you will remember how you, as a leader, play an integral part in keeping your company running. Here's the thing. A CEO can have the greatest idea or product in the world, but without employees who show up every day to do the work of making the widget or writing the code, that idea can never be realized. This concept that employees are necessary stems from the labor movement, where workers organized for better wages and better working conditions. But we are past that. The business world has evolved. Up until the Industrial Revolution, businesses were local. Goods and services consisted of what was locally available based on talent and resources. Your occupation was chosen as a result of your location and family. Your dad was a blacksmith? Well, guess what? You're going to be a blacksmith too. During the Industrial Revolution, new factories created a massive number of jobs in centralized areas. People relocated to the cities to work. Now, instead of your job being the result of your location was a result of your job. Generations of people lived and died in cramped urban centers because they were tied to their employment. But now the world has gone digital and virtual, a shift which was accelerated by the restrictions imposed because of COVID-19. Suddenly, you don't have to live in Washington to do your job for Boeing. You can sit in your home office in Wyoming staring out at the Grand Tetons while you attend a virtual meeting. Everyone realized in a moment of collective epiphany that the centralized office was a leftover remnant from the factory age. Of course, many jobs require workers to be present. You can't manufacture widgets remotely. Despite advances in technology, humans are still required to pack and ship boxes or check on machines and in some cases, even attend meetings. Plumbers can't unclog a toilet through the internet. Roofers have to actually be on the roof to lay shingles. Even so, attitudes have changed. Workers have realized that they are not tied to one company in one location for their entire working career. As companies move to save money by reducing pensions in favor of 401k plans, they also cut the ties that bound their employees to them. In one fell swoop, they significantly reduced payroll costs while at the same time caused a massive employee retention crisis. We all know the grumpy uncle or neighbor who suffered through work 5 days a week for 40 years so he could collect a pension. He constantly complained about his job, his managers, and his company. He was miserable for 40 years of his life just so he might be happy for the final 10 or 20. It's like the person who drives the old run-down car but always complains he can't afford a new one. Instead of putting money into a new car every month, he puts more and more on his credit card as he pays for repairs and parts to keep the old jalopy running. By the time the car finally dies, he has put enough money and time into it to have purchased a brand new car many times over. That attitude is gone. As a leader, you no longer have automatic employee loyalty, even if that loyalty was involuntary. Everyone knows if they don't like their job or their location, they can just move and find a new one. Refer back to the time in job rate cited earlier, only 4.6 years. The median tenure for younger workers, aged 25 to 34, is only 2.8 years. So here's where you as a leader have to shift your thinking. The founder or CEO is the one who decided on just the right car. What, dare you ask, is the right car? Well, the right car has to fit the field and the organization to attract the right kind of employees. Is the company more of a pickup truck, or is it a shiny new Lamborghini? Take a minute and grab a pen and piece of paper. Now list the companies you have worked for. In the next column, assign those companies a car. See, you were probably able to exactly match the culture, mission, and product of each company with a certain type of car. Some employees want a reliable, simple sedan. Some want something rugged and adventurous. Others prefer flash and speed. The CEO chooses what type of company she wants the company to be, and then is in charge of building it. Unfortunately, leaders too often think employees want a sports car, so they build a shiny, sleek body, but then try to force fit it onto the frame of a truck or SUV, something that more accurately reflects the mission or product of the organization. It doesn't work. The only way the vehicle runs smoothly is if all of the parts match and work together. If you purchase a sports car and find it drives like a truck, you take it back. It did not meet your expectations. If the car is designed and built well, the right employees will be drawn to it, just like crowds at a car show. People know what they want. People know where their skills will fit in and be best utilized. But the CEO's job doesn't stop there. She now has to create and maintain the driving experience. She has to provide the daily energy required to keep all of the components operating smoothly. More on that later. She is responsible for ensuring maintenance is done on time and bad parts are replaced with good ones when necessary. She has to build the right process, system, culture, and environment. She has to create an environment where the employees are given the freedom to roll down the windows, turn up the radio, and drive. She can build the most expensive and beautiful company in the world, but if no one shows up to make it run, it sits in the garage gathering dust until the tires go flat and mice move into the seat cushions. As a leader, you have a critical role in creating and maintaining the driving experience within your roles and responsibilities. When you turn the key to your car, it doesn't just start. You set off a complex sequence of events that finally result in the engine roaring to life. You are now an integral part of that sequence of events. When you realize that employees aren't just replaceable cogs in an assembly line, but that they bring specific and individual skills, talents, and attitudes with them, you will begin to understand that your role as a leader is to construct an environment in which they can thrive. When you create a place where people want to be, where they feel valued, where they feel they are being utilized effectively, they will hit turbo and want to optimize their performance. Let's talk now about what has to happen to keep that car running at maximized performance. All right, folks, that's chapter 2. So if you have comments or questions, leave them in the comments section. Send us an email at support@thedriveformula.com. And we will be happy to discuss those questions in the next episode where we take a deep dive into the topics, the principles that we talked about in this chapter, in chapter 2. So please subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can be a part of this enhanced audiobook. And we hope you enjoy. And thanks for watching, and see you next time on the Drive Formula Podcast.